Long before I knew there was actual science behind it, gardening was working its magic on me and helping my mind, body, and spirit to heal. As I would dig in the dirt and plant seeds or seedlings and watch the plants grow, I could feel the stress melting away. I was channeling that anxiety and my body was healing. Do you want to achieve your goals, but anxiety is tripping you up? Like to keep those fun weekend plans, but depression has you counseling again? Hey, I'm Lori, dog mom, lover of nature, and hygge enthusiast. Positive psychology skills help me overcome chronic severe PTSD. If you're ready to learn how to overcome your anxiety and depression and rediscover happiness and purpose in life, then get your cozy on and let's get started. Welcome back to Practical Solutions for PTSD. If you're listening to this podcast and you think, man, I really want to be able to break free from depression and move from that isolation into a joy-filled living, set up a 60-minute anxiety and depression breakthrough session with me. I'll talk with you, we'll work together, develop some very personalized approaches for you where you can start working on that. Just reach out, go to calendly.com/practical solutions for PTSD, schedule your appointment, and we'll start working on that. Again, go to calendly.com/practical solutions for PTSD, and you can have your very own anxiety and depression breakthrough session with me. I am so excited to introduce a new topic to this podcast, and that is gardening. You may be sitting here thinking, why in the world are we talking about gardening on a podcast that deals with PTSD, anxiety, depression, loneliness, isolation, guilt, stress? Why are we talking about gardening? Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. Not just that it's an awesome hobby, that is just the best thing ever. It's not just a way to grow healthy food, but it's a tool for healing, and it can help you practice resilience, and it's a quiet companion that comes along beside you and helps you deal with those anxiety symptoms, to manage that stress, and to help you, navigate through some heavier seasons in your life. So first of all, let me tell you a little bit about my story and how I became so passionate about gardening and why I'm bringing it to you today. So I did not grow up with a green thumb necessarily. Now, I did grow up doing some gardening with my parents, and I hated every minute of it because we were doing lots of weeding. Was not a big fan. And then when I was an adult, got my first place where I was living on my own. I lived in apartments for years. And then about 12 years ago, 13 years, I can't remember exactly, but I bought a home and had free agency to do what I wanted to do. And I wanted to be able to grow a garden. Now, in my last apartment, I did grow a lot of flowers and had a fantastic time doing that. I just love them. But I did not attempt to grow food. So this was going to be my first chance to do that. And so as I did, of course, I was dealing with PTSD, didn't realize it at the time. I was also dealing with anxiety symptoms that were pretty severe, depression. I was struggling with some of that, and extreme burnout. Coming back from Kuwait after 2 years, it was just not the greatest time for me. And but I really wanted to be able to do this with my yard. I wanted to landscape it. When I bought the house, there was nothing but some really weird grass and no flowers, no bushes, nothing at all. And a friend of mine's like, Lori, just look at it this way. You have a blank slate, a clear canvas. And I'm like, hey, that's right, I do. So, man, I dove in and I had so much fun. But as I was doing this, I would notice that when I was outside digging in the dirt, even if it was just for like 15 minutes, I would come back feeling better. And I couldn't understand why. Like, this is really bizarre. I'll be dealing with brain fog. I won't be feeling very good. And I'll go outside for like 15 minutes and just do a little bit of weeding or digging around in the dirt a little bit. And I'll come back inside and I'll actually feel better. Like, this is so weird, but it was working and I wasn't going to complain about it. So it wasn't until years later I was listening to this documentary, and they were interviewing a guy who had 3 different doctorates. And he said that if you go outside, all you have to pull one weed, and you're being exposed to soil-based probiotics and microbes that actually help heal the body. Wow, I had no idea. Also learned later that in the midst of all of this, when I had my hands in the dirt and I'm digging around, that I was also doing grounding techniques. And it was helping me to channel that anxiety and depression that I was dealing with and helping me manage it a little bit better because I had a place to go. It was quieting my mind. There were so many things that was going on more than just the beauty of flowers and fruits and vegetables that I was growing, the, fun of creating this from nothing. That was all a thing, definitely. But there was so much more going on than that I was benefiting from that I didn't realize until later. When I started putting the pieces together, I became just an even bigger fan. And I started introducing this at work, and I got a lot of other people passionate about it. And now I'm going to introduce it to you guys as a way of being able to grow your resilience, to improve your health, both your body, your mind, and your soul, and how to be able to manage some of that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So one, gardening does help the body. And I've often said, especially when I was first starting this, God knew what he was doing when he gave us our very first job as gardeners with Adam and Eve in the garden. God knew what he was doing. There's so much health benefits you can get from gardening. And some of that is just basic movement because you're out there when you're gardening, you are kneeling, you're stretching, digging, carrying bags of dirt, shoveling, walking sideways, bending over rear directions. I mean, you get some of the oddest positions that you're in trying to get stuff. I mean, picking blueberries is one of the most strenuous core exercises I've ever done. Is picking blackberries from my blackberry patch. You have this fantastic workout and you don't even really think about it because you're just in the middle of gardening or doing whatever around the yard. But you're really getting that movement, that very natural movement going. And then not only that, but it's a way to channel that stress. There's one, it helps you to forget what's going on because you're focused on your garden, but you can also channel some of that anxiety into gardening, digging that hole out or, whatever you're doing that has some of that more physical labor can help you channel some of that. And it can help you relieve some of the stress in your body by working it out into the soil. And it could be anything from as simple as, watering a row of vegetables to, digging this ginormous hole to plant a tree. It can all help with some of that, channeling that anxiety. It also helps the nervous system. And as I mentioned before, when you're out, you pull a weed or your hands are in the soil, you're actually exposing yourself to soil-based probiotics and microbes that literally help heal the gut, which is where a lot of your health problems will come from. And that's a whole nother topic. I won't get into it right now, but 90% of your health issues come from the gut. And those soil-based probiotics can really help you and help you feel better. And breathing in that fresh air is another great benefit for your body and your nervous system. And the science is confirming this. This isn't something that is just, garden passion for someone who really loves it. It's actually a thing. And they've confirmed this with science. And so when you're dealing with this, you go out when you're dealing with PTSD and you're dealing with anxiety and depression and chronic stress, all this stuff, and you go out to a garden, it's a place where your mind can rest. Not only are you getting the benefits from the dirt and the fresh air, but it's a place where your body and your mind can rest and kind of shed all the anxiety from your life, and you can just focus on what you're doing. I know there were times when I was dealing with some of this, I could not handle people. I could not handle engaging or talking with people. I had to step back from a lot of my responsibilities, in the church or whatever. And gardening became my refuge. It was the one place I could go where I didn't feel like I had bugs crawling on me from nerves. I could just get into the garden and just lose myself in it. Gardening can really help you with that. It helps gently pull you into the present moment, which is mindfulness. And you talk to me, pick up any magazine anywhere. It's going to tell you the benefits of mindfulness. It can really help you pull you into the present moment and out of the past and out of the future and into that present moment as you're dealing with, spraying for bugs or trimming it back or, harvesting the fruit and, looking for green beans that are hiding in the foliage. Whatever that is, it pulls you into the present moment and helps you to hold on to something tangible. Another thing that gardening will do for you is it will help your spirit. Now, I know not everybody focuses largely on the spiritual, although we are spiritual beings. But there's something about watching plants grow that is so fulfilling. And when you're in the midst of all of this, the brokenness of PTSD or depression, anxiety, it's hard to find hope sometimes. And there's been a few times in my story that things were so dark and it was hard to find hope. But when you're gardening, you're practicing hope because you're planting this little tiny seed in the soil and you're fully expecting a plant to come out of that. Or you're planting this little seedling and you're expecting it to grow and yield much fruit. That is hope. It's hope in action. And you can't necessarily see the process of the seed breaking down and the sprout coming up. You're just sitting there waiting for, 10 days, 2 weeks, and keep checking. Is it up yet? Is it up yet? But there's a spirit of expectation and hope that you are going to get a plant out of that. It also teaches us patience. And we're in a hurry up and get it now world. Everything happens immediately. We throw stuff in the microwave. We get on our phones and do whatever. We have it instantly. We're in an instant society. Gardening isn't instant. You have to wait. You plant the seed. You have to wait the germination and sprouting time before you're going to see anything. You can't yell at it and make it go faster. It's going to be what it is. And so it teaches you a little bit of patience and understanding that not all results are instant. It also teaches you some humility because no matter how many books you read or the best tools that you can buy, you're never fully in control of the garden because weather happens, bugs happen, plants, sometimes they have their own opinion and they're going to do their own thing no matter what you do. But through all of that, there's so much beauty in the garden. And, flowers bloom, food ripens, and you see this tiny little miracle that repeats itself year after year after year, where you plant a tomato plant and you're going to get tomatoes. It's such a beautiful thing to watch, and it's exciting to see the plant bloom and, little produce come out and it's little tiny little things and they grow big and you watch them ripen. It's such a rewarding process. But you have only a marginal bit of control over it. You do have some, but not, some of it is just, you are very much at the mercy of the plant and the weather, for sure. Hopefully this episode helps you to see some of the beauties and benefits of gardening. And as we approach the gardening season, which is just around the corner, maybe this gives you time to be able to plot out a few things that you can plant and use this as a tool to help you in your mental health as well. And you absolutely are going to be hearing more about this in the future because there are so many lessons you can learn from the garden and so many benefits, as well as just, you're getting really great healthy food, which is another fantastic way of healing the mind, body, and soul. So there's much more to come. I'm excited about sharing that with you, and I look forward to talking to you soon. If you have some fun gardening stories, I would love to hear them. You can join us at our Facebook page at Overcome Depression and Anxiety. Use positive psychology to combat PTSD and share your garden stories. Hey, my friend, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you please take 30 seconds and share it with someone you know who may be struggling with depression and anxiety? Also, would you please leave a quick review for the show? Knowing how this podcast is helping you fills my heart with so much joy, and it motivates me for future episodes. For now, it's time for Sam and I to head outside to enjoy some sunshine and fresh air. We'll see you back here on Tuesdays and Thursdays for more great episodes.